Hello, TradingView community. Welcome to my new analysis about USDJPY. And with USDJPY, there happened some really momentous developments within the recent times that I am going to explicate today within my analysis. And therefore, USDJPY has shown up with this important uptrend here, since 128.5. It bounced here within the structure since January of 2023, since the beginning of this year. USD JPY has shown up with this really important uptrend here within this whole structure, bouncing above the important 35 EMA and building up above it, and now is already scraping within these high areas here within the structure. And this is a really important development because especially these are really important levels here within this whole structure, which USD JPY is now approaching. And it already approached this level once in the past, and now as these level are approached again, this is a important test because once USD JPY has shown up with a breakout above these levels, this means that there's a stabilization ongoing that will exceed above these levels and has the potential to continue within these ranges and show up with further important volatilities within the whole structures, especially as USD JPY is still holding this major uptrend level here within the whole structure. And this is a really important uptrend dynamic because this uptrend is not yet broken to the downside. And what this means for the whole uptrend is that this uptrend is getting stronger and stronger the more lines of uptrends the chart actually is showing up with. And now this is already the third uptrend line, and this means that this chart and that the volatility within USD JPY is getting stronger and stronger the more uptrend lines are formed here within this whole chart. And now USD JPY is about to form a major breakout above these determining levels. Once this breakout has shown up, this is going to accelerate the price action above these levels and show up with huge momentous paramount momentum to continue into these dynamics. Also, when looking here at the daily time frame perspective, USD JPY already completed this major ascending triangle formation here within the whole structure above, which it bounced and formed this continuation formation above the upper boundary, now appropriately building up above this upper boundary, and now had the ability to form this major breakout above these developments. And now, as this major formational structure has been completed, this already activated first target zones within this whole structure. And now USD JPY already formed these target zones here within this whole structure and activated these target zones within the daily time frame perspective. And this means that there are targets of a minimum of 150 active as this major ascending triangle formation has been completed here within the daily time frame perspective. And this means that when the price action actually bounces into the 150 USD JPY level, this means that the price action has a major ability to hold on here within this whole structure and build up within this whole structure to continue with a major push of volatility above these levels, and from here on has the ability to continue with further volatility developments above this important momentous paramount 150 US dollar JPY level. And once this happened, this is a major setup from where USD JPY actually has further potentials to continue. Also, when looking at this whole structure on the 4-hour time frame perspective, on the 4-hour time frame perspective, USD JPY is also forming a highly important formational structure because this is actually also a major ascending triangle formation that USDJPY is actually forming here, and USDJPY is already increasing with the volume here within the 4-hour time frame perspective, and is already attempting a final breakout above the upper boundary of this ascending triangle formation. And this means that once this formation has been completed, this is going to activate further wave developments within the Swiss structure, and is going to accelerate with the major wave C development within the Swiss structure. And in this case, a major target projection can be made once this breakout has shown up. And in this case, the target projection can be projected onto the upper boundaries. And in this case, the minimum target projection of this major breakout development will be within the 151.5 level. And in this case, from there on, USDJPY also has further potential to continue further, because this will not be the last target within this whole structure, especially as the momentum holds on and the volume increases here. This is a major factor that should be considered for this USDJPY pair within this whole structure. And in this case, as mentioned here, USDJPY will have completed two major formations within this whole structure, from where it has the ability to continue into these dynamics, especially as with the local time frame perspective ascending triangle. This is going to activate the initial target of 151.5, and above that, the next target will be the 153.1 level that is already activated by this momentous gigantic ascending triangle formation. And in this case, when looking now at the weekly time frame perspective, the weekly time frame perspective is also really important here, because with the weekly time frame perspective, it has to be mentioned that what USDJPY already formed here within the local time frame perspective, so within the daily time frame perspective and the 4-hour time frame perspective, within the weekly time frame perspective, USDJPY is actually forming a similar ascending triangle formation that will be completed once the final breakout has shown up above the 150 level. And in this case, when looking here at my chart, once this final breakout above the 150 level has been completed, this is going to accelerate this huge ascending triangle formation dimension completion, and show up with this final breakout set up above these upper uh, boundary zones. And from there on, when looking at my chart here, this is going to accelerate the much larger wave count into the upper directions. And in this case, USDJPY is going to show up with this huge ascending ABC pattern development. And in this case, a major target projection can be made onto the breakout areas once USDJPY has shown up with this final breakout above the upper boundaries of this huge, momentous, gigantic ascending triangle formation. And in this case, USDJPY will have completed and activated further target dimensions within this whole structure. And in this case, the next target dimensions can be projected onto the breakout area of this huge, gigantic ascending triangle formation that is much larger than the ones seen within the daily time frame perspective and the 4-hour time frame perspective, because in this case, USDJPY will actually complete and activate further targets within this whole structure. And when looking at this huge ascending triangle formation, this is going to activate minimum targets of 170 within this whole development, especially when the momentum holds on, especially when the volume holds on, especially once the breakout above the 150 USDJPY level has been completed. This is going to activate a minimum target zone of the 170 level. Once this breakout has shown up here above the 147.85 level, this is going to activate the further developments within this whole structure, especially once USDJPY shows up with the final breakout above these levels and builds up here above these levels. This is going to offer the appropriate setup for further continuations within this whole structure. And from there on, USDJPY is going to show up with the major price action dimensions and expansions within this whole structure. and is going to accelerate the price dynamic till the final targets have been reached, especially as with this whole dynamic, if the major price action accelerates into these upper target zones and the momentum holds on, the volume within the market holds on, and the major underlying dynamics are actually appropriate for this major target development, then there's also the possibility that from there on, USDJPY actually continues with further developments. Now, firstly, the initial ascending triangle formation within the 4 hour chart time frame perspective will be important. Then it will be also important to reach out to the next target zones of 153.1, and above that, the next step in this whole structure will be the completion of this gigantic ascending triangle formation to show up with the further target dimensions above the 170 area. In this case, it will be really important, and it will be great when you support my project with following, commenting, and liking my project. With this being said, have a good day. Bye bye.